in Norfolk, unless you own a property, it is not easy to operate anything less than 30 days because everything has to go through the owner for the city requirements, and some places are zoned where they do not allow less than 30 days at all. Okay, got it. The property I have right now, I have been marketing as a month to month lease furnished rental and getting a good amount of interest, but I'm doing it as a shared room, okay? Because the numbers work better that way, but there is not crazy amount of profit. This is going to be a two-part question. Okay. Two of the people interested are traveling nurses who will be working at the same hospital. Okay. Traveling nurses seem to have a limited income. But I was thinking about how to get in contact with whomever handles their job placement to get continual referrals that way, or if I should stick with those who want 6-month lease because I want this unit to be less hands-on since I'm not using it for my original purpose. Second question. I'm debating on getting another unit in another city close to me because of the regulations in Norfolk. So, okay, my best bet would be 30 days or more if I stay in Norfolk, okay? But I think if I stick to less than 30 days, I can be more profitable and scale quicker. Is there anyone in the group who does 30 days or more who are able to profit and scale easily with a 30-day or more model? Got it. All right. There's a lot there. So I hope you're ready. Okay. I'm going to try to take this in pieces. So remember, guys, when I've made recommendations on how you start, there's a reason for it. For example, I've often said start close to home. I don't know where you are, Neftali, but when I'm looking at the way that you worded the way that you worded the question suggests to me that Norfolk isn't near your house. Because you said, what did you say? I'm debating on focusing on getting another unit in another city close to me. Now, that could just mean Norfolk is also close to you, but you're just going to another city, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's pretend, for the sake of this argument, that right now that is not close to you. So make sure you stay close to you. That's number one. Number two, the less than 30 days. Okay, so this is very similar to what I think we were talking about with Mike a second ago. Yes, you can, and there are individuals who are doing a 30-day and greater model, but and at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean the number of days isn't directly responsible. It's a factor, but it's not directly responsible for the quote unquote amount of profit that you're able to earn. What really matters is the customer that you are attracting. So that's really what it comes down to, is the customer that you are attracting and or going to be working with. Let me explain. There was a customer of mine. She was working mergers and acquisition specialist. She stayed about 110 days, okay, which obviously is greater than 30 days. However, she was on contract, and they gave her a per diem. That per diem, when you added it up and over 30 days, blah, 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 long story short, was actually more than what we would have gotten for the same said unit if we just did it in a, less than 30-day capacity perspective. Now, in general, you are correct. The whole difference here with the strategy is to take what was bought at wholesale and sell it retail, and in terms of quantity of time. However, there are some institutions, and specifically those in our government, who have a daily rate minimum. And I've ran into this, and I think the last time I had this happen, it was a government contract from an entity in, South America, where they were required, they couldn't stay at a place unless it cost a minimum of $200 US per day. So, hey, my place is $200 US per day then. And that worked out fine for them. So I hear what you're saying. You're saying because of this, I feel like I am not necessarily making profit. And what I'm saying is it's always going to go back to step number one. Who do you want to serve? And when you can get back and understand that, okay, who do you want to serve is where we're talking about, then that's the answer. And then also remember, you have the Walmart, Target, and Nordstrom of it all. So yeah, I don't know which of those people we're talking about in this particular case, but there is a obviously Walmart, Target, and Nordstrom version of it all that must absolutely be there. At all times, though, yes, and I'm glad that you're looking up the city zoning and all that stuff, because that's exactly what you need to be paying attention to. And most importantly, even if you have to work with multiple owners, you can make it worth their while. You can just make it worth their while. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. Just because they may have to be the one to get the license, they may have to be the one to quote unquote remit the transient occupancy tax, just because they're the ones who have to do all those things, doesn't mean you can't have your bookkeeper do them on their behalf so that it's done. So does that make, hopefully that makes sense. And okay, so then the traveling nurses, we have a number of traveling nurses in the group, so I would definitely talk with them, because they would know even more than I, because they are what you're talking about. However, my experience has been that they can't, the only time I've been able to retain traveling nurses on a longer term contract, like more than a week, is when there's two of them, very similar to what you're saying, two of them who are working at the same hospital for the same length of time, and they've chosen one of our 2-bedroom units. Our 2-bedroom units, because there's two of them, the cost seems to split and fit their budget and our revenue requirements, whereas a 1-bedroom or a studio seems to exceed the budget of the traveling nurse who's going by him or herself. So if you have the situation that you're talking about, another way to address it would be with a 2-bedroom unit as opposed to a 1-bedroom unit, is how I would begin to attack it. Now, with that being said, if you do have a larger place, or a place when you're talking about renting by the room, you are correct. Renting by the room, when you're in a jurisdiction that gives you the ability to lease it for less than 30 days, that is often the most profitable way to be able to do the particular strategy. However, there's one word that you said that doing that does not, it's not hands off. Okay, it is more management intensive when you are dividing up an existing floor plan and then creating common space to be shared by perfect strangers, so to speak, to each other. There, you're the only one who knows everybody. You're the only one who's screened everybody. You're the only one who knows what you know about everybody. They don't know each other, and then now it's a different management situation. So hopefully that makes sense. If you like information like this, go ahead and hit that like button, because that tells YouTube that more entrepreneurs see us, and definitely hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that the next time we publish more quality content like this, you can be a part. Thanks.